Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 3, Book 49, number 864. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Allah's apostle set out for the Umrah, but the pagans of Quraysh prevented him from reaching the Kaaba. So, he slaughtered his sacrifice and got his head shaved at Al-Hudaybiyah, and agreed with them that he would perform Umrah the following year and would not carry weapons except swords, and would not stay in Mecca except for the period they al-load. So, the Prophet performed the Umrah in the following year and entered Mecca according to the treaty, and when he stayed for 3 days, the pagans ordered him to depart, and he departed. Volume 3, Book 49, number 865. Narrated by Sa'al bin Abu Hathma. Abdullah bin Sa'al and Mahayisa bin Mas'ud bin Zaid went to Khaybar when it had a peace treaty with the Muslims. Volume 3, Book 49, number 866. Narrated by Anas. Arabi, the daughter of a Nada, broke the tooth of a girl, and the relatives of Arabi requested the girl's relatives to accept the ursh, compensation for wounds etc., and forgive the offender, but they refused. So, they went to the Prophet, who ordered him to bring about retaliation. Anas bin Nada asked, "O Allah, Apostle, will the tooth of Arabi be broken?" "No, by him who has sent you with the truth, her tooth will not be broken." The Prophet said, "O Anas, Allah, law ordains retaliation." Later the relatives of the girl agreed and forgave her. The Prophet said, "There are some of Allah's slaves who, if they take an oath by Allah, are responded to by Allah, i.e. their oath is fulfilled." Anas added, "The people agreed and accepted the ursh." Volume 3, Book 49, number 867. Narrated by Al-Hasan al-Basri. By Allah, Al-Hasan bin Ali led large battalions like mountains against Muawiyah. Amr bin al-As said to Muawiyah, "I surely see battalions which will not turn back before killing their opponents." Muawiyah, who was really the best of the two men, said to him, "O Amr, if these killed those and those killed these, who would be left with me for the jobs of the public? Who would be left with me for their women? Who would be left with me for their children?" Then Muawiyah sent 2 Qurayshi men from the tribe of Abd Shams called Abdur Rahman bin Sumura and Abdullah bin Amir bin Qurayz to Al-Hasan, saying to them, "Go to this man, i.e. Al-Hasan, and negotiate peace with him and talk and appeal to him." So, they went to Al-Hasan and talked and appealed to him to accept peace. Al-Hasan said, "We, the offspring of Abdul Muttalib, have got wealth and people have indulged in killing and corruption, and money only will appease them." They said to Al-Hasan, "Muawiyah offers you so and so, and appeals to you and entreats you to accept peace." Al-Hasan said to them, "But who will be responsible for what you have said?" They said, "We will be responsible for it." So, whatever Al-Hasan asked, they said, "We will be responsible for it for you." So, Al-Hasan concluded a peace treaty with Muawiyah. Al-Hasan, al-Basri, said, "I heard Abu Bakr saying, I saw Allah's apostle on the pulpit and Al-Hasan bin Ali was by his side. The Prophet was looking once at the people and once at Al-Hasan bin Ali, saying, This son of mine is a Sayyid, i.e. a noble, and may Allah make peace between 2 big groups of Muslims through him." Volume 3, Book 49, number 868. Narrated by Aisha. Once Allah's apostle heard the loud voices of some opponents quarreling at the door. One of them was appealing to the other to deduct his debt and asking him to be lenient, but the other was saying, "By Allah, I will not do so." Allah's apostle went out to them and said, "Who is the one who was swearing by Allah that he would not do a favor?" That man said, "I am that person, O Allah's apostle." I will give my opponent whatever he wishes. Volume 3, Book 49, number 869. Narrated by Abdullah bin Ka'b bin Malik from Ka'b bin Malik. Abdullah bin Abu Hadrad al-Aslami owed Ka'b bin Malik some money. One day the latter met the former and demanded his right, and their voices grew very loud. The Prophet passed by them and said, "O Kabi," beckoning with his hand as if intending to say, "Deduct half the debts." So, Ka'b took half what the other owed him and remitted the other half. Volume 3, Book 49, number 870. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, "There is a sadaqah to be given for every joint of the human body, and for every day on which the sun rises there is a reward of a sadaqah, i.e. charitable gift, for the one who establishes justice among people." Volume 3, Book 49, number 871. Narrated by Urwa bin Az Zubair. Az Zubair told me that he quarreled with an Ansari man who had participated in the Battle of Badr in front of Allah's Apostle about a water stream which both of them used for irrigation. Allah's Apostle said to Az Zubair, "O Zubair, irrigate your garden first, and then let the water flow to your neighbor." The Ansari became angry and said, "O Allah's Apostle, is it because he is your cousin?" On that the complexion of Allah's Apostle changed, because of anger, and said to Az Zubair, "I irrigate your garden, and then withhold the water till it reaches the walls, surrounding the palms." So, Allah's Apostle gave Az Zubair his full right. Before that Allah's Apostle had given a generous judgment beneficial for Az Zubair and the Ansari, but when the Ansar irritated Allah's Apostle he gave Az Zubair his full right according to the evident law. Az Zubair said, "By Allah, I think the following verse was revealed concerning that case. But know by your Lord they can have no faith until they make you judge in all disputes between them." 4.65. Volume 3, Book 49, number 872. Narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. My father died and was in debt. I suggested that his creditors take the fruits, i.e. dates, of my garden in lieu of the debt of my father, but they refused the offer, as they thought that it would not cover the full debt. So, I went to the Prophet and told him about it. He said to me, "When you pluck the dates and collect them in the murbad, i.e. a place where dates are dried, call me, Allah's Apostle." Finally he came accompanied by Abu Bakr and Umar and sat on the dates and invoked Allah to bless them. Then he said, "Call your creditors and give them their full rights." So, I paid all my father's creditors in full, and yet 13 extra wasqs of dates remained, 7 of which were ajwa and 6 were law, or 6 of which were ajwa and 7 were law. I met Allah's Apostle at sunset and informed him about it. On that he smiled and said, "Go to Abu Bakr and Umar and tell them about it." They said, "We perceived that was going to happen, as Allah's Apostle did what he did." Volume 3, Book 49, number 873. Narrated by Abdullah bin Ka'b. That Ka'b bin Malik told him that in the lifetime of Allah's Apostle he demanded his debt from Ibn Abu Hadrad in the mosque. Their voices grew louder till Allah's Apostle heard them while he was in his house. So he lifted the curtain of his room and called Ka'b bin Malik saying, "O Ka'b." He replied, "Labbaik, O Allah's Apostle." He beckoned to him with his hand suggesting that he deduct half the debt. Ka'b said, "I agree, O Allah's Apostle." Allah's Apostle then said to Ibn Abu Hadrad, "Get up and pay him the rest."